The Gospel of St. Mark is the oldest gospel in the Bible, and it therefore is very precious to us. And so this particular reading, in which we hear that the Sabbath is made for man, not man for the Sabbath, is really a powerful statement for us. Because as we remember in the book of Genesis, God rested on the seventh day. And that's the Sabbath, the seventh day. And the Sabbath is meant to be the day of calling to holiness. It's a day in which we are reminded of our relationship with God, and especially in which we can celebrate that relationship with God. And so part of the discussion that we have this morning on this particular reading is really where we are. We're in Our Lady of Gulf Church, but we're also in the forgot what we call it now.
Community Center.
Community Center. Thank you, church. It's good y'all are still with me. So those right now are places in which there's an invitation to holiness. There's an invitation to be with God, very specially. And it's really a celebration of our recognizing God in our lives, but also a celebration of God speaking to us through the different aspects of life. And so we come together in this beautiful space, and I know at the Community Center right now they've got a wonderful, wonderful view of the water. It's a great view. We who are in the church right now have this wonderful, beautiful church that we're in. Reminder as it's a place of prayer. It's a place of God's presence. And so where we are matters. Where we are is important. And where we celebrate the Sabbath also is important. And for us, as Roman Catholic Christians, the Sabbath really is Sunday. But it's also any time we come together to celebrate this celebration especially. And it's an invitation and a call to be who we are called to be. In other words, the call to holiness invites us into that very special relationship with God that we have. And it's a call in which we see God's beauty in the world. It's a call in which we see God's creation in the world. But even more importantly, it's an invitation to let God touch each part of our lives, to let Him speak to each part of ourselves, and to invite us into who we are called to be before God. Now, part of the question also for us then is what's this all about? What's this all about? And it really is a powerful, powerful moment for us. To not underestimate the power of this special gift that we have right now, that we're celebrating. The power of being at the altar of God, where the miracle happens, where heaven and earth meet, where Jesus, in the form of the bread and the wine, which is then changed into His body and blood, becomes for us the gift of heaven, the gift of God's grace, the gift of God's love. That's why we are called to be a people of prayer. That's why we're called to be a people of holiness, a people who are willing to let God into their lives and letting God touch our lives very personally, very specially. And to imagine at this altar that Jesus, who walked on the earth, who performed miracles, the Jesus who taught, is here with us. And as we approach the altar to receive Holy Communion, as we approach the altar to receive our communion prayer, whichever it is a moment for us to open ourselves up to His love. That where we are, we celebrate the love of Jesus Christ. That who we are, we're called to be his disciples, his witnesses. And he invites us into that very, very special relationship. And what's it all about is really about prayer. It's about our relationship with God. It's about love. It's about the love of God touching our lives and God really reaching into our lives. It's about coming to church. It's about celebrating God's love in church. It's about letting God's love truly transform us. And really, it's about now. Now. So we come before the Lord now, as we are. We come before the Lord now, with all that's going on in our lives. And I don't know what subjects you just finished studying, but you came from a class. It's about you now. It's about me now. It's about us before the altar of God and letting God really touch us. Letting God really speak to us. Letting God truly enter our lives and transform us. Part of the gift of now is Jesus in our midst. Part of the gift of now is recognizing that God is truly good in our lives all the time, and he calls us to be good all the time in his world. In his world. Thus, the Sabbath was made for us. The Sabbath was made for us. This day, this moment, this celebration was made for us. To live in the love of God forever. That's a wow. To live in the love of God forever. Give me an amen, girls. Amen. All right, even the community center, give me an amen. See, you got to answer for the community center, so hit me. Amen. Thank you, community center. You did great. And of course, church, Our Lady of the Gulf. Wonderful. Called into that sign of love, let us stand now and offer our prayers.